All right, what's up, yo? We're doing a tier list of all the Minecraft songs. I've been playing this game for about 15 years. I promise this isn't just going to be me gassing up the C418 soundtrack. I really like a lot of the newer ones too, so let's get into it. All right, at the very, very bottom, we have the weird, mysterious music discs, 5, 13, and then the little interlude, Death. This is, these are just like interludes. These don't really mean anything. Now to the tier of songs I actually don't really like very much at all. We've got this song Tears that just doesn't fit this game well at all, in my opinion. Precipice, another one with a weirdly extreme, heavy, overproduced, blown out fucking instrumental. I'm not really a big fan of this one either. It's just so. This song, Floating Dream, this is the first one I have real legitimate notes about. This song is trying so hard to be a Minecraft song. This song is pretending to be a Minecraft song. It has this arrhythmic, like floating, stupid piano that doesn't really sound very good towards the end, and it's just kind of a lot of build up to not a lot of payoff, and it sounds like you ask someone to try and be C418. It just doesn't work very well in my opinion. Yakusoku, this one's pretty good. It's like whatever, you know. From here on, they're all basically pretty good songs, but this is probably the least good out of all of them. It feels really meandering and doesn't really have a very good build up or payoff or anything, but you know, it's cool. It's whatever. I can put it on and zone out to it. Key, this is one of the classic Minecraft songs, probably the worst C418 song that you're going to find on this list. It's just like a little instrumental with the extremely high reverb on it that you can't really decipher very well. It doesn't really add very much to the album, but it does add quite a bit to the game when it just comes on, you know, and it's like, whoa, where's that music coming from? It sounds like someone's playing piano thousands of miles away. Excuse, this is a pretty damn good song if I'm being honest. It's very much like the most mysterious, like evil, intimidating sounding one from the first album. Minecraft Volume Alpha is mostly light-hearted, wonderful ambient music, and this is like an extremely intimidating sort of song with like a sense of dread to it, you know? Droopy tracks, I don't really understand what these are supposed to be for. I think that this is literally just like music C418 had left over on his computer that he wanted to release somehow. But these songs are pleasant, you know? They're not really Minecrafty in my opinion at all. I would definitely say Ricochet is probably better than Likes Your Face, because Likes Your Face has that terrible like text-to-speech program that sings on it. But overall, these are well produced. They're catchy. They're just not very Minecrafty in my opinion. So yeah, Poco. This is one of the first tracks I'm going to talk about that has this problem where they think the newer sound designers for this game are trying to make it sound like Breath of the Wild a little bit. Like this is very much reminiscent of like the beachside town music in Breath of the Wild, and it's pretty good, but it definitely doesn't feel quite as Minecraft as I think it totally could. That's kind of the problem with a lot of these lower ranking songs, is that they don't necessarily evoke Minecraft as much as they just evoke the setting that they're based on. Ordinary Day is kind of a banger, but it doesn't really go anywhere. It just sort of builds on the same idea over and over again, but doesn't actually have a huge payoff or anything. No massive climax. It's just a pretty good song. It's well produced. It sounds like the Caves and Cliffs soundtrack. It's probably just my least favorite off of there, except for, you know, the one we talked about earlier. All right, beginning. This is another C418 one. This is one of my least favorite C418s. It's definitely not bad by any stretch of the imagination, but it just doesn't really evoke much Minecraft to me, you know, which is saying something coming from C418 of all people, the guy who arguably made this game's entire fucking identity just with its music. It's just like whatever. I like Beginning 2 more. Endless. Lena Raine really understands this game. This is probably the one instance of her not really understanding what makes Minecraft music so good. But this is like a pretty damn good song. It's just like fun and lighthearted piano. It's just like really long, and I don't actually recall hearing it in the game very often, but it probably is because they don't do the thing anymore where they release like an album only track. It's all in the game now, so yeah, this song is like pretty alright. Komorebi or Komorebi. I don't really know how you pronounce that because I'm a stupid fucking cracker, but this song has another problem that a lot of these lower ranking songs have, where they just kind of do the same thing over and over again, and usually it's not that big of a deal when that happens on like a C418 song because those are all like a minute, minute and a half, 2 minutes, but this is almost a 5 minute long track of basically the same thing, just slightly different each time, which I don't necessarily mind, but I like that the older Minecraft music has this sort of sense of progression to it, so that if it comes on while you're in the middle of building something, like the song will progress as your, gameplay is progressing. Like if you're mining, a new part of the song will come on by the time you're in a new cave. This is largely just the same thing over and over again, so it's going to sound the same when you're building as when you're done building, and, it doesn't really go very far. Kyoto is one of the weirder, more eccentric tracks from the OG Minecraft soundtrack. I don't really know how I feel about it, because it's a pretty good song, but also it's just another one of those ones that's just not very Minecraft. This song could be borderline like stock music. Same with the next one, Stall. I don't really know what the sound palette is. It doesn't sound very much like Minecraft to me. It just kind of sounds like, an extra 2C418 tracks that he had lying around that he wanted to put on, the album to get people to listen to it. Below and Above is definitely menu music. I don't know if it actually is menu music in the game, but it sounds like that's what it's supposed to be. And it has this really nice, dry, clicky piano that a lot of Amos Roddy's Minecraft music has. But I don't know. It just doesn't really have any like unique defining characteristics. Creator is an example of one of the maybe like only 3 good songs that have like a full production behind them. Like it's got the really overproduced instrumental, but it just sounds so intricate, so alive, so textured. I think that this is a really good track, even if it doesn't sound very Minecraft. Lily Pad is another one of the Amos Roddy tracks with that dry piano, and this one is basically the same as the last couple tracks of his, but this has such an interesting chord progression to me, and this one actually does change and sort of mutate the further the song goes along. This song just has a really, really intriguing atmosphere to it to me that I don't really hear from a lot of his other Minecraft songs that he did for Chase the Skies. Eld Unknown, this is one of the more mysterious Lena Raine tracks. I really think that Lena Raine understands how to do Minecraft music. The only problem with this one is that it's another one that's almost 5 whole minutes long of basically the same thing over and over again. If there's one thing that these newer Minecraft soundtracks have taught me about C418's music, is that it's made me retroactively appreciate that he understands brevity. Like, he understands how to make something that is just as long as it needs to be. Eld Unknown, pretty good song, a little bit too lengthy for my taste. Wending is extremely beautiful, but I feel as if it is very so slightly filler, but it's pretty damn good. It's probably the first one on this list that is actually genuinely a great song. They're all basically great from this point forward. This song, Fireflies, is beautiful. This is 2.5 minutes of what, Amos Roddy is best at, it seems, when it comes to making Minecraft music. I wish that all the new Minecraft songs were this short and to the point. This song is called Fireflies, and later on there's another song called Firebugs from the Wild update, which, that might get confusing, but know that right now I'm talking about Fireflies by Amos Roddy, not Firebugs by Lena Raine. Ancestry is the song that plays in the ancient cities, and ordinarily it would be really low, but this is one of the examples of a song being better in the game than it is to listen to on the album separately. The rest of these I listen to more so as individual songs. I actually usually play the game with my music off, but Ancestry is the one song that has made me turn the music back on every time I go to the ancient city, because this just works so well. It works so fucking well for the area of the game that it's included in. It's perfect. Rubido is another one of these 5-minute tracks that's basically the same thing over and over again, but this one wins out so hard because it's just so mysterious and perfect for the Nether's atmosphere. And it reminds me, honestly, a lot of the long Nether tracks that C418 did for the game back in the day, like the 5 or 6 minute long Nether tracks that are meant to just absolutely haunt you. I mean, this is so good, even if it is a little long. The aforementioned Firebugs, this is pretty good. This feels a lot like menu music to me as well, but I don't remember if this is a menu song or in the actual game. But yeah, this is basically just a really good Minecraft song. I don't have much else to say about it. It's got a cute little melody, but it's also pretty sparse, which I like. I like when these Minecraft songs can go back to the minimalist vibe of the older soundtracks, you know? Broken Clocks is a great Amos Roddy track. It's mostly just this haunting sort of low-key piano that has less of a pluck to it and more of a gentle tap. This is, I think, what most Minecraft soundtracks these days should strive to sound like. I mean, this is really fucking good. I think that in spite of the handful of flaws that his music has for this game, his 6 tracks that he has in this game, Amos Roddy, he got this shit down, dude. He got this shit down. Preciopia is pretty alright. I would say that this is probably the one song from the Nether Update soundtrack that I fuck with, you know, just ever so slightly. I do think it's a little bit better than Rubido, but it is also, it feels not quite as vast as the rest of the soundtrack does. I think that it's slightly more interesting instrumentally than Rubido is, but it doesn't really have that sense of scale, that, you know, vast, sprawling hellscape sound effect that a lot of the Nether music has, but it's still pretty good. This song, Crescent Dunes by Aaron Sharoff, is the opposite of what I just talked about, where I think that instrumentally it's a little bland, but in terms of scale and in terms of variety, this thing fucking sprawls. It is really good. Also officially entering the best part of the tier list now. Everything from this point forward is basically great or better. The Creator Music Box version, I definitely prefer this to OG Creator just because it's a lot more minimal and it doesn't have that extremely blown out, overproduced kind of vibe that the original has, and I don't know, I think this one's really nice, and honestly, one of the better, more emotional, like creepier, sort of downtrodden tracks that you can find in the game. Flake is a C418 track from Volume Beta that I really wish was put in the game. This could have been a perfect song to come on at night in a snowy biome. I can see why it wasn't put in, because it doesn't really fit a lot of the settings in Minecraft. You know, snow biomes are not that common. A lot of people don't live in them. But, yeah, this would have been a great one to have come on, like, at night as it's snowing, as you're wandering around a frozen tundra. But this song is really interesting instrumentally, and it's only 2 minutes and 50 seconds. This is one of the ones that I think, honestly, this could have been much longer than it is. Deeper, this is the first example of Lena Raine operating at maximum capacity. I really think that she understands Minecraft very well. It's got an interesting instrumental, a very intriguing, unique, kind of one-of-a-kind chord progression and melody, and it just has such a good sense of scale to it, like probably more of a sense of scale than the trial chambers even justify, you know, how cramped they are and stuff. This is a pretty good one. Concrete Hall is one of the original C418 Nether tracks from Volume Beta. This song actually has a ghost inhabiting it. This has a sort of ghostly, spiritual fucking energy to it that I just don't see a lot of on the rest of this video game soundtrack. This is a good one. Clark, this is the first one from Volume Alpha that we've had that's like a proper song from the video game, you know, that you actually hear regularly. This is one of the classic Minecraft songs. This is a perfect distillation of everything that C418 is good at. It's ambient, it's melodic, but it's not so melodic that it sounds like you've just thrown on some background music. This has like an actual sort of cinematic, you know, sort of diegetic energy to it, where it feels like it is best suited to be listened to over Minecraft, and fits better over Minecraft than it would over any other task like doing laundry or homework or whatever. It's really good. Stand Tall fits the new game really extremely well. This one gives me the sort of volume beta energy, but sort of updated to a modern standard. And this is exactly what Minecraft feels like and sounds like to me. This is one of the better songs that Lena Raine has done for this video game, in my opinion. Mutation is a sort of eerie remix from Volume Beta of the classic Minecraft theme song that you all know and love. This one is pretty good. This is a great spin on that track. It definitely sets the tone for Volume Beta being essentially a darker, more advanced, more expansive version of Volume Alpha, which I just really like. I'm a big fan. Oxygen is another great in-game one. I forgot to record this when I did the original take of this video, but this song's really good. O's Piano is my favorite one from Chase the Skies. This one weirdly reminds me of that Radiohead song from Moonshaped Pool with like the slow arpeggiating piano. This one's just really nice. It's comforting but unsettling at the same time, and it just is produced so well. It sounds so clean and good. I love it. I think that a lot of what goes underappreciated about C418's original soundtrack is how distinct his instrumentation is. You know, he uses lots of weird, warbly sort of, you know, synth sounds that you can't quite pin down what it's supposed to be, so I like this. Melohi, this is like a cartoon song from the original set of music discs that I think wouldn't work nearly as well if any other artist did it, because the sample is just this sort of weird gray sort of, you know, downtrodden loop, but C418 being a fucking certifiable genius that he is, you know, was able to turn this into something much greater than it probably would have been in the hands of someone else. Hagstrom is one of the more interesting songs in this game's entire soundtrack because it's the only one that is in 7/8 time signature, which is, you know, a really weird choice to make, but I absolutely love it. The sounds are nice and quaint. You know, there aren't many of those weird warped synth noises that you don't quite recognize. This does feel very much purely like old classic Minecraft to me. Aaron Sharoff's Relic from Trails and Tales is also a pretty damn great song. They've sort of made what sounds like chiptune music from like the 40s and 50s. Like it sounds like computer music rendered onto an old, you know, gramophone record and stuff. And it's just a really good melody. It's very, you know, it's another one of those ones that has a good sense of scale to it. It just feels very vast and sprawling, and I absolutely love this track. Blocks. I'm surprised that Blocks seems to be one of the least popular music discs in this game, because Blocks is really good. It has a great synth line that you know hear when you first start listening to the track, and it just builds upon it in a very good and interesting way that I don't see a lot of these other tracks take sounds and spin them into an entire song like this. C418 was really, really good at spinning weird, interesting synth noises into an entire track. And I don't think a lot of people talk about how fucking good he was at that. Key is a remix of Key. This is just like an album opener for Volume 2. This one's not in the game at all, so it is basically just meant to contribute to the theme of the album. And I would say that this is a really good way to introduce this album. It's a remix of the opening track from Volume Alpha, but, you know, demonstrates that this is not going to be Volume Alpha. You know, Volume Beta is going to be darker and more processed and more mutated than Volume Alpha. And this is a really good way of, you know, introducing that sentiment. Watcher do what? This sounds a lot like a classic Minecraft song to me, but just modernized. Love it. Love Aaron Sharoff. Strad is a really nice beachy, sort of jungly song from the original soundtrack, and I just really, really like the way that this one is in general. I love everything about it. It's one of my favorite music discs from this game. Equinox is the sequel to Oxygen, which I really love. It's just basically Oxygen, but, you know, better. It's like a cute little Oxygen sequel surprise on the album. It's just really fucking good. Ward, I've heard Ward described as a sort of graveyard dance party, and I can totally understand why. This is exactly what I imagine it sounds like when the monsters come out at night, dude. This is like what they listen to when they come out at night to harass you. You know, when they're not harassing you, they're having a party at the club. This is the shit they put on. Blind Spots is a song for creative mode from Volume Beta, and dude, this one's also just so good. I mean, this is so perfect for creative mode. This is exactly what it sounds like to play creative Minecraft. When every time I've been on creative mode, I remember this would come on back in the days of like 2013, 2014 Silver Age Minecraft, and it was just such a perfect fit, man. It was just such a good fit. C418 really, really understood the assignments with these tracks, probably because he basically invented the assignments. Airy has this nice sort of like funeral horn sounding synth line on it that I just have never heard a Minecraft song that sounds like this. This is a pretty good one, even if it isn't necessarily a good fit for many scenarios you would find yourself in game. I would say that if this weren't in the game, if this were just on the album, this would serve its purpose basically perfectly. There aren't many tracks in the game like this. I wish that more of them would go in this sort of weird tangential direction where it doesn't feel quite like it's trying to be Minecraft music. It just feels like it's trying to be a song that fits a vibe. The original Moog City is definitely one of like the crazier tracks from Volume Alpha. It definitely has its moments where it sounds Minecrafty, but it is the one that I think is intentionally the least Minecraft. This is very much like, you know, one of those tracks that makes Volume Alpha not just a great soundtrack, but a great standalone album. You know, like this is one of those Minecraft songs that doesn't really appear in game. The sequel appears in the game, but Moog City on its own is basically just a great album track. I have no idea why this song is called Chris, but I love this one. This coming right after Clark on the original Volume Alpha album is just such a perfect 1-2 punch. It has that low-key brushed drum kit in the background that just carries this song. This one floats. It has an incredibly interesting, weird synth line that I've never heard on a song before. How many songs do you know that do a wah-wah-wah-wah-wah-now, dude? Dead Voxel is an absolutely haunting Nether track from Volume Beta. I know I keep using the word haunting, but it's just what C418 is good at, man. You know, this is exactly Herobrine music. And then Moog City 2 is just a better version of the original Moog City. This one's from the menu in the game, and this is just heavier in every way. It's heavier, it's creepier. It's everything that Volume Beta is compared to Alpha. It's so good. Featherfall is absolutely beautiful. It's this sort of loose, hard to pin down, sort of moving, you know, piano track with ambient synth sounds on it, and it's very, very hard to get a hold of, but I absolutely love this one. I used to really not like Biome Fest, but that like almost choral synth sound that they have on it sounds like a church choir singing at you from 1,000 million different directions. Like, this song is what I imagine it sounds like to see rays of light come through the clouds in the morning. Labyrinthine, this is another 5.5 minute Lina Rain track, but this one is not plotting or boring or anything. This one actually fully has a good sense of progression, very interesting chords and instrumentals, and there isn't a lot of music that sounds like this in the game, which is what I really like about Lina Rain's music that not enough people talk about. She really brings some original sound to this game's sound palette that, just a lot of the other guys haven't done since C418. Floating Trees is almost too sad and weirdly emotional to be menu music, but it's C418. This is 4 minutes of basically perfect ambient music with a little touching, tear-jerking piano part at the very end that just gets me every time. It's really good. Drayton, I don't know how to pronounce this one, but this is definitely one of the best creative mode songs. Everything about this is just so otherworldly, and it does that thing that a lot of the better Minecraft tracks do, where it blends 8-bit sound palettes, because this is a very retro-looking video game at this point in the game's history in 2013, and it just turns it into something so beautiful, so heavenly, that it's just, you don't really hear very often from music with chiptune sound. Another example of this is on the next track that I'm talking about. Wait is another one that blends weird synthetic computerized noises and turns them into something that just you don't hear these sounds used in very often. It's a very, very distinct style of music that only C418 seems to be a master at. Shuniji is an example of a song that I don't think fits its environment very well, but not because it's bad. It's actually because the Ocean update I just don't think was nearly cool or interesting enough to, justify a song that is this fucking amazing. This song sounds like discovering deep underwater secrets, which is just not really something that the Ocean update did very well, in my opinion. It's very, very shallow, no pun intended. Door, the proper intro to Volume Alpha, is just an absolutely brilliant way to open an album. It sounds exactly like what beta Minecraft felt like back in the day. I wasn't there for a lot of beta, but this song reminds me so much of like the beta 1.7.3 era of multiplayer servers, and it's just so incredible. You really get the vibe that C418 has played this game and knows what it sounds like to play this game for the first time, So Below may not work so well as a song on its own, but as a Nether song, this is incredible. This is so atmospheric and so eerie, and I just really, really like it for the Nether update. I don't know if Bromeliad is in the game anywhere. I don't remember having heard it, but this song is so wild. This is such a crazy sound palette. For the update that added like the sniffer or whatever, like the music of this update was 1000% the best part of it. I mean, this song is so weird and cool. Not Disc 11, but just 11 spelled out. This is one of the most beautiful piano pieces I think C418 ever did. Everything about this is just so, well structured. It has an interesting chord progression, and it's so moody, but also kind of lighthearted. Like, it has this sort of depressed exhaustion to it at the same time as having, a sort of light, inspiring element to it. It's a very, very good track. Ballad of the Cats is almost too serious for Minecraft. Like, it's a really good Nether song, but it just has such a hopeless sense of angst to it. It just is so dreadful in its tone, but in like the best way possible. It sounds like, the last song you'll ever hear before you die in hell or whatever, which is, the setting that it plays in. This is just a really, really good one. One More Day from Lena Raine from Caves and Cliffs is definitely the best example I can think of a song with a great progression, where it doesn't sound too similar from minute one to minute done. You know, it sounds like it's turned into a totally different song by the time that you're at the halfway mark. And I just think that that's so impressive that she can pull that off. Lena Raine is just a one-of-a-kind video game soundtrack talent. Exolotl is another C418 Ocean Update song that I think is, again, too big and too cinematic to even make sense for the ocean. I think it makes sense that C418 doesn't really work on this video game anymore. I know the reason why, but my headcanon reason why is that he's just too good. He just became too good of a master at his craft to justify being in a tiny little voxel video game anymore. I mean, this is like movie soundtrack level beauty right here. A Familiar Room captures the melancholy of playing Minecraft by yourself so well. It has this nice sort of vintage, old, worn-down electric piano on it, and it's just a very, very innocent, quaint, moody little track that I adore. Puzzle Box just has so much mystery, so much intrigue to it. It's really good. I think that it's one of the few 5-minuters that fully justifies its length. I mean, this is just a beautiful ambient piece of music. Far is another underrated music disc in my opinion. I know it's pretty popular, but I love it anyway. I love it. I think that it doesn't get enough talk about how good the progression is. Not necessarily the chord progression, but that's great too. But the way that it starts off sounding one way, and then by the end, it's a totally different song. You've gone on a total, complete journey by the end of that track, and it's really impressive, again, that C418 can do that shit just on a whim, you know, just totally like it's nothing. We're getting to a lot of the more classic Minecraft tracks now. I've had to re-record my thoughts on Subwoofer Lullaby like 3 or 4 times because it's just so much to say. This track has a sort of contentness to it, a sort of warm acceptance, you know? It's sad, but not quite to the point where it feels like it's longing. It's definitely the perfect song for, like, Minecraft nostalgia for your friends and, you know, the times you guys used to have together playing the game. It's just very, very good. It's very good. The song Intro from Volume Beta is actually the outro to the album Volume Beta. It's the final song, but this song is just fucking so good. It's so good. It has the same chord progression mostly over and over again, but it really shows off C418's skills at developing the same chord progression into something totally different by the end of the song. And it's also one of the few Minecraft songs to have vocals on it. And not just vocals, but vocal harmonies. Ooh, it's my shit. It's my shit. C418 did a real good job on this one. Every time we talk about the Aquatic Update music, I say this, but this is definitely the best version of what I'm talking about. Dragonfish sounds so much like it could be a movie soundtrack. It's just so incredibly vast. It's long, too. It's 6 minutes and 12 seconds. And it's just, there's never a dull moment on this track. No matter how long it is, no matter how many times I hear it back to back. It's just, it never gets any worse. It's really so good. It's so good that it deserves to not be locked specifically underwater in the game. Like, this should just play all the time. This is incredible. We're in the perfect S tier now. We got Wet Hands, one of the most popular Minecraft songs. You know, I'm placing blocks and shit because I'm in fucking Minecraft Jack Black style, but this song has it all. It's got quaint, contemplative, nostalgic, you know, chord progressions, but then there's also a part around halfway through where it suddenly turns a little bit downtrodden, and it starts to get very, very moody, and then it comes back around to being sort of uplifting. This is one of the best, like, piano-only Minecraft songs. This one sets the example, basically, for every other song that's in the game is sort of a spin on tracks like Wet Hands. Echo in the Wind is a brilliant fucking song by Aaron Sharoff that I honestly think is another example of a song that is just too good to be in Minecraft. Like, this sounds like Mario Galaxy music to me in the best possible way, and it's really, really so cool that we get songs like this in the game. Like, this is the kind of song that makes me appreciate the new musicians so much, because had they listened to what the community probably wanted and just had C418 do every single song for this entire game forever, we would have never gotten anything like this. Cat, the OG music disc that everyone knows, this is just one of the most iconic songs in the game, and it sounds exactly like Creative Mode. This feels like the original Creative Mode music to me. And then right on top of that, we have Dog, which is just a remix of Cat with a slightly more upbeat vibe to it that I honestly have always liked a lot more than Cat. You know, it's just a really good spin on the sounds. Turns it into a totally different song with a different energy, which I love. I don't even know where to begin with the song Infinite Amethyst by Lena Raine. This is just an amazing, amazing couple of sounds. This is one of the best 4 minutes and 30 seconds of music in this game's entire catalog. It's incredible. Mall is my personal favorite music disc from this game. It sounds very retro, kind of 70s, and I think that it works really well for the low-key vibe that early Minecraft had back in the days. And the production is so clean, too. It sounds so clean and shiny. Haunt Muskie by C418, an anagram for Hatsune Miku. This is an absolutely amazing song. This is just a perfect Creative Mode music. Right around the 4-minute mark, it has this amazing drop, and saying the 4-minute mark has just made me realize that this song is 6 minutes long and feels so natural, so tight, not forced at all. It's a very, very tight 6-minuter that definitely makes the most of its runtime. Dry Hands is one of my favorite early Minecraft songs. It's one of the first ones I remember really catching my attention because of just how worn out it sounds. You know, it's sort of, I didn't know that a piano could even make that fucking noise. That you could make sounds like this with instruments, and it just fits the OG vibe of Minecraft beta and alpha, like, so well. There isn't even much I can say about the song Warmth. This one is just amazing. It's so worn out and tired, but in the best possible way. You know, it sounds like coming home and laying in your bed or taking a nice, quiet, hot shower after a long, long day. This is an incredible, incredible piece of ambient music that does not get nearly as much hype as it deserves. Comforting Memories is the perfect name for this track by Kumi Tonioka. This is just an amazing, it feels like remembering your childhood, this song. And it hasn't even been in the game for that long. It's only been like 5 years. I've only had a little bit of time to get accustomed to this compared to the other ones, but this is already one of the most nostalgic Minecraft tracks for me, in my opinion. This one barely had to do any effort to make me nostalgic. This one is just so perfect. It feels like remembering the best days of your life just from listening to it. The track Minecraft, the title track of the entire video game, one of the original, I think the original Minecraft song that C418 did when it was still like, you know, just a test demo. This song is the perfect distillation of everything that Minecraft is. It works so well and it's so pleasant to listen to despite the fact that it's very bare bones and simplistic, which I think is a great metaphor for how the game used to be back in the day. Chirp is another one of the most iconic music discs in the game because it uses that old Optigan sample, and it's another example of C418 taking a sample and just spinning it into something so unique and distinct that only he could ever do. It's great. Left to Bloom, a brilliant song. It sounds sort of like what I imagine would play in parts of the world the player has never and will never go to. I mean, it's so. It has. This song glistens, yo. Like, I don't even know what else to say. This shit glistens. This shit is pristine and shiny to me. The song Danny, I love it a lot because it's very jungly and sort of, intricate, and definitely probably the most intricate and sort of moving song from the first album. And also, it just reminds me of my friend Danny, who I like. Lol. Araya Math is the biggest Minecraft song in my opinion. I mean, this thing is just huge, Araya Math. This thing goes everywhere. It touches every emotional beat. It's got that sort of mysterious vibe to it, but it's also, very contemplative, very low-key at the same time at parts. And it's also just a very, very interesting sound palette. Like, a very, very interesting set of instruments for this track. I can't quite figure out why I love Other Side so much. Other Side feels like the absolute best representation of modern Minecraft. It has all of it. It's finished. It's a completed, finished song that I think suits the new, complicated Minecraft a lot better than any of the older music can these days. Everyone knows Sweden. This is the best Minecraft song for any generation. It's just so perfect on every level. It has a great chord progression that gives it this sort of comforting dissonance to it. Like there's almost chords in here that on their own would sound a little unpleasant, that when turned into this specific song, when put in this specific order, just make so much sense that only C418 could ever do this. Mice on Venus, this is definitely the biggest song for Minecraft nostalgia, it seems. This is a very sad, sort of contemplative, lonely sounding song, but I actually specifically like the bit at the end where it turns into this kind of curious waltz almost, and not a lot of the songs on this soundtrack do that curiosity quite like this one does. Tazwell is my favorite creative mode song. I don't really know why. It's really long and sort of repetitive, but it just has that pleasant happiness to it, Like, it sounds like playing Minecraft on a day where school's been canceled and you're just ecstatic to go online with your friends and build a whole town, to build a big roller coaster, to build big statues. It's just a really, really good representation of how it felt to play Minecraft as a small child. Pigstep, the most badass music disc, dude. Science has finally figured out what makes Pigstep so badass. It's a fucking all of it. It's all of it. It's so good. It's all of it. It's perfect. And now I will take time for these final two songs to explain to you why I love them so much. These two deserve the most explanation. At second place for best Minecraft song, we have Living Mice. Living Mice is fully, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, maybe the single best piece of recorded music I have ever heard in my time on this planet. This song has such a brilliant, mysterious build that sort of opens the box at the end and just lets all of the energy in the fucking known universe out. Like, listening to the final, 30 seconds of this song gives you the answers to all of it. Listen to this while high as fuck, if possible. This song transcends every other thing that is on this soundtrack except for the number one song. Living Mice is a true career highlight for anyone. And C418 has basically a flawless discography, and this song is so good that it does 75% of the lifting for his entire fucking music career, in my opinion. This is the kind of thing that you can only create like once every 10,000 years. You know, like this song specifically is such an achievement of music production, where it blends synth noises and orchestral, you know, acoustic sounds just so seamlessly into the perfect representation of playing Minecraft. I remember this song came on once when I was wandering around a snow biome at night when I was a child, and it just changed my entire life, this song. I mean, really, this was the first song in my entire life that I was ever like, that's my favorite song. And now on to the big one. Far and away, my favorite song in the game is Alpha. It is the 10-minute epic that goes through basically every emotional beat that this game's soundtrack hits. It plays during the end poem, and it feels like a sort of shortened representation, a sort of synecdoche of like playing Minecraft. Like the history of an entire Minecraft world is contained in this song. This one is everything. It's a borderline medley that's been turned into this gigantic, sprawling, you know, movie soundtrack type song that really I don't see enough people talk about. I mean, this is another one of my favorite songs of all time, probably. You know, it's such a rewarding song to listen to. It feels like you've watched a movie by the time that you're done. It is just so, like, you know, pensive, but also so bold and exciting. It's so low-key at times, but also extremely, you know, certain of itself, very, very bombastic and large instrumentation in parts here. I love this song. I love Alpha by C418. I love it in a way that I don't love many other things. You know, like I feel like this is maybe one of the top 5 things I've ever experienced in the world, is being able to listen to this song. This is just a one-of-a-kind piece of music that you don't hear from video game soundtracks really at all anymore. So yeah, that's been my Minecraft soundtrack tier list. Thank you guys for watching. You know, please subscribe. C418 would want you to. All right, see ya.